Good morning everyone. My name is Arslan and you are watching Proper Tech Tutorial. Welcome back to the series of learning Siemens NX from beginner to pro, and this video is my second last video of this particular playlist, that is learning Siemens NX from beginner to pro. So without any further delay, I'll just show you the syllabus and I will start with the topics mentioned thereof. So part 37 will be dealing with pattern in assembly, and patterns are of two types, that is linear pattern and circular pattern. Also, we'll be dealing with the mirror part and both will be discussed together. So first of all, coming to the part of pattern. So now what we have to do is that I have created a particular part to make you understand the pattern. And also in the previous lecture, the remember assembly constraint lecture, I told you that how you can add multiple objects, and by making the use of tool remember assembly constraints, you can just add the multiple copies in one single go, like 5, 6, 10, 15, whatever, and you can just redefine the constraint in the next dialog box. So that like saves a lot of time for the user, and this particular part has been created by me in order to let you understand how to do that. So block for pattern, okay, rivet, hollow cylinder, okay. So I'll just delete the other cylinders. Before that, I'll just open the sketch. So to know that which one is the original, this one is the original, and I'll go back, I'll just click on the others and I'll just delete that. Okay, so now I will just put some assembly constraints to this part, and first will be the fixed part, the fixed assembly constraint. Okay, it is already fixed. Second thing, I will add this particular component. I've already added it, so I'm just telling you in case. After that, what I'll do, I'll use the part of align lock. That will be much better to do. So I'll just use that align lock. The other object which is to be used, I'll just select the, I'll hover it for 2 seconds and you will see that it will show me both of them. So face in block pattern, I have selected, I'll click on apply, and after that you can see that I am able to move this particular rivet in the manner of a, in the Z axis. Okay, so I'll try to move it, and you see if I move it over here, not moving, not moving. If I rotate it, not moving. If I rotate it, not rotating. It is moving but not rotating. If I try to move it like this, it will rotate along the Z axis. That is, it has only the degree of freedom in the Z axis. So you see that it has the degree of freedom in the Z axis. After that, what we'll do is that we'll just define another assembly constraint, and that will be a distance constraint, because I do not want to have the face of this to be totally touching that. I do not like that. So okay, I will just click that so that you can know that this is a rivet and it is a separate part. I have not made it in one single model. Now these both have been done, and I'll have the option of editing the distance, and the distance is 33. I'll make it 4, and it is now good to go. After that, what I'll do is that I'll go to the remember assembly constraint, and I'll just remember the assembly constraint and I can just add it. Rather, I can use the feature of pattern component. So what is pattern component? The pattern component allows you to pattern a particular component, let us say this rivet, and the direction in either linear or circular. So I'll select the linear first, and the vector will be specified in the following direction. The span and count and span can be mentioned. So I know the dimension. So this block is of 100 and 100, and this particular hole has been made using the tool of pattern feature before adding this particular component in the, before the adding this particular component as a component in assembly. So while making a model, I added it. So just to let you know that what was the thing that I was going to do. Okay, yeah, I was going to tell you that this particular hole uh, is of I think 10 mm diameter, if I am not wrong. Yeah, it is of 10 mm diameter, outer one is of 14 mm diameter. Okay, everything is set. Now I'll just use the concept of pattern and pattern component in the assembly, not pattern feature. Understand that pattern sketch, pattern curve, and pattern curve, pattern feature, and pattern component are both different things. So I'll click on pattern component. I'll select this component. I'll specify the vector. I will specify as count and span. So what I'll do is that I'll just click on count and span, and I want 2. So I will click on 2, and then I will click on the distance. Let us say what is 40 doing. So 40 will be doing. So okay, 40 will be doing good. Use direction 2. I will specify the direction 2 to be this, and the number of count will be 3. The direction, not the pitch distance. You can either select the pitch distance or you can select the span. I am more comfortable with span for this particular object. So it will be 80, I think. So it is already 80. If I try to do 70, you see that it is back. I'll just click on 80, back to the place where it is to be, and I'll click on apply. I'll close the dialog box, and you can see that the component has been added over here. Now if I try to move the component, like I want to move this particular component and I'm moving it. Okay, I have applied the distance thing. So if I try to delete this distance thing and now I try to move it, let us see what happens. All the patterns that have been done using the command and prior and after using the constraints on that component, then it will move accordingly. So now also if I try to like move it, it will move. So either you can use the remember assembly constraint or you can use the pattern feature, whichever is feasible for you. Another pattern is that of the circular pattern. So what I'll do is that I'll just add the component. I'll click on this part and I'll click on this part, and I'll just make count and select object, and it will be somewhat over here, and I'll click on apply and then cancel. Okay, now what I'll do is that I'll just place this particular rivet in any of the holes, and then we'll start the thing of the linear of the circular pattern. So first of all, assembly, I'll go to the align lock. I'll click over here, I will click over here, and then I will click on the distance part, and before that what I'll do is that I'll just move this so that I can select the edges without any hustle. I'll just move it, I'll click on apply, I'll assembly constraint, this should be fixed. After that, the distance constraint, this face and this face will have a distance, and that distance will be, close that, can be edited by double clicking it. And I'll change the distance to 4 and I'll click on apply, close the dialog box. Now I just want to pattern the component in a circular fashion. So what I'll do, I'll click on circular, I will specify the vector should be this, I will specify the point should be this arc center, and the count and pitch. So I will rather click on count and span. I will select it to be 1, 2, 3. The original is included in the count, and the span will be 180 degrees, and not 180 degrees, it will be minus 180 degrees. And then I will click on the component which is to be patterned, and I will click on apply, and you see that the component has been patterned in this fashion. Okay, so this is something which you can do. If you want to hide this particular one, you can just hide it. If you do not want to hide it, you can just undo that. So these are something I can just suppress that. Control Y is always suppress, never suppress, something like that. So if you want to suppress that, if you want to hide that, you can just click on the hide or suppress. So you know how to hide and suppress features. The same thing will be used, and that is discussed already in the lecture of I think it is discussed in the part 26. Yes, feature reorder, hiding, deleting, etc. So that is discussed over here. So now I will come to the topic of mirror components. So I hope that linear and circular pattern are clear to you. Nothing different, only the thing that is selected is now a model rather than is now a part file rather than a curve or a feature or a whole geometry. So it is now a part file, only that the remaining thing is as similar as that. So now we come to the topic of mirror assembly. So what is the use of mirror assembly? It is just similar to that of mirroring a feature or mirroring a curve or mirroring a geometry. That is similar to that. So just before that, I'll click on the mirror assembly, or what you can do, you can just search for mirror and you can click on mirror assembly. There will be some instructions over here and you will click on next. After that, you will just select the component to be mirrored. I want this one, this one, this one, this one to be mirrored. After that, I'll just click on next. And after that, mirror absolute origin, not much preferred. I'll just click over here. I will create a new plane, that is a new datum plane. I'll select the this plane and then I will select the linear object, and that will be the y-axis. Let us say select plane. Not at a distance, at an angle, let us say, and the planar object. Okay, no problem. I'll select again planar object, the axis, and I'll try to rotate it. So if I make it 180, let us see what happens. And thing which happened is it moved in this direction. Okay, I selected the y-axis, no problem. I will go back, I will deselect the linear object, I will select the x-axis, that is the axis on which it is to be rotated. So I want it to be like this. I will click on, let's say 120, and I will have a plane that is at 120, and then I will have the option of offset, and distance will be like 100, let's say. So not this 100, rather minus 100. So minus 100 it will be, or you can just change the distance by using a mouse. So I'll just click over here and I will make it over here. I will orient it for much better view, and this is the plane which I want. I'll click on OK and then I will click on next. After that, you have these two options which are okay, you don't need not meddle with it. I'll click on next and you will see that these three things are to be mirrored. It will show you that a final thing, final selection groups, and after that you will click on next and you will see that. Would you like the position, the mirrored instance? Okay, now it is showing us the instance in which it is mirrored. So if you click on this thing, it will just change the type of mirror which it has been done. So if you see from this perspective, you will see that it is changing only this particular part that is being mirrored. So it depends upon the type of object you have selected to mirrored and the plane which you have selected to mirrored. So that is something, and these two things are used in order to create that particular mirrored object as a separate work part, be it associative or be it non-associative. And it does not matter, it will create a separate work part and it will create a separate file and it will be saved in the same directory, and that will help you to modify and change those particular parts in future. So that is something which can be used. So I'll just click OK because I want this orientation, and then I'll click on finish, and you see that the mirror has been generated. The plane was something like this, so now it is generated in the this manner, like mirror from here to here. Now this was the last topic that we had to cover in the pattern and mirror, and in the next we'll be covering with the exploded view. So this is the final thing that was part of the concept to be used in an assembly. So please revise the videos, please look our videos in totality so that you can understand each and every concept. The video may be boring, but Boring is not necessarily bad. If something is made understood in much more clarity, in much more depth, boring is good. So I'll request you to watch this video, watch this playlist in totality, and you will be able to use Siemens NX much better than people who teach you in the offline coaching classes. I can bet about that. So use this and try to make some objects with you. And if you have made any, you can just tag us on our Instagram handle, Proper Tech Tutorial, and the Instagram handle is mentioned in our description. You can use that link. So try to learn things more and more knowledge, and you will be able to excel in much of the things. So excellence is not only part of like having anything. But excellence is part of a satisfaction that you must have in your mind that you know something. It must not be that when you are old or in the mid age, you will be having the feeling that you do not know anything, even though you are the manager or the general manager. So that should not be the case. You must have knowledge and you must know things that you wish to know. You should have that first, that this is not something which I will not know, and I will definitely have that caliber, I will definitely have that knowledge and that skill so that I can understand that particular topic. So subscribe to our channel in case you like our videos, and press the like button. In case you have any suggestions, do comment in the comment section and share it with your friends in case you find that useful. So till the next time we meet, goodbye.